Bruce Wolf and Dan Profton in our studio right now. State Representative Mike Bost from Murphysboro, and he's running for Congress in the 12th District down there. Good morning. Thanks for coming in.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
You may remember Representative Bost from his famous
From such
rant,
yes.
against Mike Madigan. I'm sure we have that can somewhere.
It is.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, yeah.
Charlton Heston has nothing on you. Let me tell you
You
that.
realize how many times I've heard that over the last.
Well, you're going to hear it again.
I know, and again and again
Yeah,
and again.
because
That's
if you want to be the Howard Dean of the Illinois Republican delegation, then
Dude,
go
you-
right ahead.
But the thing is,
your-
Howard's went south. Mine actually did pretty well.
Yeah, have your feelings for Madigan changed at all?
No, I think he's kind of glad to see me go to Congress. Matter of fact, I think he asked that question when Jim Durkin took over. He pointed at me and said, "You're going away, right?"
Right, there you go. There you go. On state issues, what do you think of Governor Quinn signing this Chicago pension legislation?
Well, first off, I don't think that the pension bill, it's amazing that when we pass the Chicago pension, we could go ahead and leave the compounding COLAs in there, and then the opportunity to shift it over to property tax. I think I don't think it was a wise thing to do.
Turning to when you get into Congress and you're on committees determining how to reform the VA, yesterday there was an audit that showed that 57,000 veterans had to wait at least 90 days for their first appointment. We got problems here at Hines with people, veterans, even getting their very first appointment. So what would you do about it?
Well, let me tell you, there's some things. One thing I have discovered is do you realize that the VA and the Department of Defense don't have computers that communicate with each other? So when the records are transferred over after they retire, go into the point to where they use the VA, that can take forever. And it's very, very simple that it's a turf battle. Who gets to control the computer? So that's one thing. Look, we've got to do an overhaul from the top to the bottom with the VA. The scary thing is that this is when government is doing health care. Now we're headed down that path for all of us, and the thing is our veterans should be provided for. That doesn't mean we need to close down the VAs. We need to make sure that they're operated efficiently. Also, I think it's a very important thing is that if you're going to have a wait time, that you should receive, and that wait time, whether it's decided 25 days, 35 days, whatever, that you should receive a voucher to go to a private doctor outside of that facility to get taken care of as quickly as possible.
And point of order, you served in the Marine Corps.
Yes, I'm a Marine.
And so when you hear a reform proposal like John McCain and Bernie Sanders come together and they say, here's how we're going to reform the VA. We're going to concentrate more power in the hands of the VA secretary. It seems to me that it's an odd solution to say we have a problem with central planning, government-run healthcare, so we're going to concentrate more power in the hands of the top central planner.
Right. There's a problem with big government.
Yeah.
Well,
So I mean, So in terms of that solution and that conversation, are we off track a little bit?
Yeah, I think sometimes that people have been tied with government so long that they forget to think outside the box. And in this case, we're going to need some people thinking outside the box. I think that though not privatizing per se, there's certain sections that might need to be. But what I do believe is that you need to bring in someone who has ran major facilities in the private sector and figured out how to manage them. First off, you can't offer, the goals that were set is what caused the lies. There has to be an ability to encourage people to do the best job they can possibly do without giving an opportunity for fraud. And that was a dangerous precedent to set, and that's why they had the two lists.
Well, I was just reading Ron Fournier in the National Journal saying, according to White House people, President Obama just doesn't do the small stuff that well, like the VA.
Well,
so, that's what he considers small
then how about
stuff.
something silly like finding somebody who does, and then make them your administrator? And but
or like private hospitals where people
I mean,
can go
you've
with
got
vouchers.
Who manages Mayo? Who manages the other major clinics? Is it someone you can pick up? Is it something that it's an administration issue?
On another front, on the jobs front, announcement this week that 3 Caterpillar-owned facilities are leaving Illinois. This continues this trend of manufacturing out of Illinois. Somebody from Southern Illinois, where you're trying to attract businesses, you're competing with border states, you want jobs other than just state jobs. How do you react to that, and what the economy and culture is here that does or does not attract jobs?
We in the state of Illinois, the legislature over the years, especially over the last 12, 14 years, has been very much, it's like they don't pay attention to the fact we're not in a vacuum. When they continue to raise taxes, they continue to put government regulations, they continue to pin the head down of the employer. Remember this, government does not create jobs. It only allows the opportunity for jobs to be created through the entrepreneurship. When you've got a company like Caterpillar, who has been, they want to stay here because that's where they're from, but we're finally giving them no choice. And I know for all these years in the Illinois General Assembly, I stood up on the other side of the aisle and said, folks, you got to wake up. We can't continue to tax and tax and tax and drive away, and then also force, though good intentioned, to force them to provide certain coverages and force them to do everything from special care in their health care plans to also having to deal with the cost of workers' comp in comparison to states around us. You've got to allow them the opportunity to compete.
More information on your campaign can be found
at BostForCongress.com.
BostForCongress.com. Representative Mike Bost, thanks so much for joining.
Hey, thanks for having me.
You're a little too calm for me today.
Oh,
okay.
it's early. There are that time. Another cup of coffee, I'll be there.
Thank you very much.